Let's do it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your main man, Larry Braggs, L Boogie, and welcome to the Old Soul Club. I'm here with my main man, the Pope of Soul, Mr. Phil Redmond. What's up, Pope?
What's happening, Mr. Braggs? Mr. Braggs, Mr. Braggs. Good to see you and everybody.
Hey, man, everything's good, brother. I mean, what happened, man? We got no Latin phrase for the day.
I know, man.
I said, no, we cannot have you come on and there's no Latin greeting for us, brother. What is going on with you? You're going to have to find something, man, before the show's over.
Since you put it that way,
yes,
I'm going to go ahead and say, Salvete boni amici.
Oh, what we got? What is that, brother?
Salvete boni amici. Greetings, good friends.
See, now we got the Pope of Soul, baby. You can't come on here without a Latin greeting. What is wrong with you, man? What is this can't happen, bro.
I got tongue tied for a second, man.
Oh yeah, you had to figure that. You had to figure that one out. You had to figure that shit out. That was a lot. That was a mouthful, man.
Salvete boni amici.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, that's a lot going on, Phil. I mean, a lot going on. In music, politics, just everyday life, travels also. And today we got a very special guest coming on the show too, man.
Yes, sir.
Before we do that, man, what you been doing, brother? What's been going on?
Man, I will tell you, I have been just living life, loving family, loving friends. And, basically I started writing with a fella doing some country music.
Oh, great.
That's right. Great. The Pope does country.
Well, I hope it's got a truck, a bull, a cow, a stir, and a girl and a can of beer in it.
All I can guarantee is the can of beer.
Okay, there you go. That's good. As long as it's got one of those in it, bro, it's a country song.
Yeah, it's got a can of beer. But I've been watching a lot of old movies. You know?
Really?
Yeah, I've been going back in time. Well, the two things I've been going back into old movies, and you know the old Pope, he never was a sports guy. You know,
right.
I played like 1/4 of football in my entire life, and like a half an inning in basketball.
Well, especially when you say half an inning in basketball.
See, that's why I never played sports. No.
Where the hell you get that from?
No, okay. I played several summers of baseball when I was a kid.
How many quarters? Man, what's going on, man? Tell me what's happening, man, because we got to get to this special guest of ours again.
Yes, sir. But man, I've been loving all of these sports movies and docudramas that they've been putting out. You know,
good.
Netflix has a series called All or Nothing, which follows certain teams throughout an entire season, but it's truncated, and that's cool. And I don't know, man. Everybody's mixed about it. But that whole movie about the Lakers, where they use actors called Winning Time or something like that, I loved it.
Well, good, man.
I loved it, man. I highly recommend it to anybody, man. The cat playing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the doctor, I'm sorry, playing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the kid playing Magic Johnson. Yeah. They were impeccable. Really, all of the people, man. The guy playing Jerry West, the guy playing Jerry West, funny enough, and they always do this to us, he's got Jerry West's passion and temper, right?
What was that? Oh, good. Good stuff.
British dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice.
And so, and then the guy playing Pat Riley, the famous thespian, Adrian Brody.
Oh, nice.
Playing Pat Riley. So
you recommend this to people, huh?
I do.
What's it called again?
Winning Time.
Winning Time.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure everybody go check that out. If you're a sports, enthusiast.
Yeah,
I should say.
The beginning of the Lakers, Showtime run for about, what was that, 3-4 seasons?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Maybe 5, but anyway. Yeah. I highly recommend that. So I'm loving those movies, and Draft Day, Moneyball, that stuff. But right now is Winning Time. I've actually watched the whole thing through twice. It's about 8 episodes,
Okay, nobody gonna do that. All right, that's too much. All right, go watch a real basketball game. Hey, y'all, once again, man, this is the Old Soul Club brought to you by Larry Bragg's Coffee. That smooth, soulful roast, along with Blue Boy Music when you absolutely positively gotta have your shit recorded the right way. Blue Boy Music. Yes. Hey, man, so, man, look, we got a great show, man, and I don't want to hold it up too much longer because we got a special guest, man. He has been like just an amazing guy, man. He's done so much. He's served his country. He's been an incredible recording artist. Wow. He's been just an activist. He's just been around, and he's just like a gem. And he is like one of the greatest soul singers of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome to the Old Soul Club podcast, the one and only Mr. G.C. Cameron. Come on in, brother.
Yes, sir.
Hi there.
What's up, brother GC?
Blessings, blessings, blessings.
Hey, man, I was just telling the Pope, man, and telling the people that GC Cameron is one of the gems of the soul music and just soul singers, man. I mean, his legacy, I mean, not just as a singer, man, but people don't realize, man, you've served your country, you've been a soul singer, you've been an activist, you've been a man, a spiritual man of God. You've done it all, man. I mean, wow, you ran the gamut, brother.
Well, it's been a 56-year rehearsal. So it's time to do the show now. And you've been in a rehearsal hall with me. My wife told me the other day. She said, "You've about through with this rehearsal, this 56-year rehearsal. You've been on." I said, wait a minute. I said, that's very interesting because basically that's all it's been.
Yeah, man. Wow, that's an interesting way of putting it, brother GC. It's been a rehearsal. Now it's time for the show.
Yes,
but see, when you say it's time for the show, I really don't know what that means, GC, because when you've been rehearsing 56 years, then you do the show, then what?
Well, what we have to do is we've been rehearsing to bring forth the love that's been given to us to the universe, because we are blessed to carry a key that opens the sail that unlocks the substance of love to the world, through music. If the world doesn't get music right now, the world is going to die. It's that simple. That's the message I've gotten. So what we're doing is now getting ready to inject the vaccine for hate, which is love.
Yes, sir.
It's the only thing that can kill the hate that the world consumes right now. And that the reason they've mistreated us all these years, it's a long story. It's another time, but there's a method to the madness of Mr. Mad himself.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell my children, they said, well, Dad, you said God made all things. I said, yeah, God made all things, but remember, some of the things that God made some things for themselves. And this is what you got now, the things that was made by the thing that was made by God, pretending that it's God to the things that it made.
Preach, brother. Preach.
I mean, really, no, it's a simple procedure, because love is the substance of life itself. See, love made life. Life didn't make love.
Mm-hmm. See, people, that's why here on the Old Soul Club, we have people like GC to bring this thing home to y'all, because we get lost a lot of times in just living our day-to-day lives. And for people who don't know who GC Cameron is, GC Cameron is the original singer for the Spinners. So if you heard all of those great Spinner songs like It's a Shame and all that, man, that's GC Cameron. And GC Cameron got a story about that kind of thing, which I'm going to get into. But GC, man, before we do that, even before your Spinner's career, man, you served in the military.
Yeah. The Marine Corps, United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Vietnam, 1967.
Wow.
I was in a place called Con Thien, which was that militarized zone. Worst place in Vietnam, honestly. They wiped out the 9th Marines a couple of times. I think we lost about 3,000 people in July, 4th of July, 1967. That was 3 months before I was discharged from the Marine Corps. I was discharged from the battlefield in the middle of very serious conflict. There was a lot of war going on at that time. And July 4th, 1967, I was at Compiègne with 9th Marines, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines, FMF, Fleet Marine Force, 9th Marine Brigade. And we had lost a lot of people. And so we had to go and retrieve bodies. The 4th of July was a recovery operation. Mm-hmm. I think we had to pick up like 600 of our comrades deceased. And it was a terrible firefight. It was the B-52s that dropped 30 tons of bombs in this area. And Agent Orange had ate up the place. So we were subjected to Agent Orange when we got there to pick them up. Mm-hmm. This is September. So we picked them up, what was left of them. They had been there and they had been wiped out for like 6 days. It was 120 degrees. This was in July. It was 120 degrees and they had been there dead for about 6 or 7 days. It was a terrible time in my life and the rest of my comrades, those who made it, a lot of them didn't make it out. But the NVA, which is called the North Vietnamese Regular, you got the VC, the NVA, and south you got the ARVINs, which is ARVIN, which is the Army of the Republic of South Vietnam. And what happened is they knew we were coming to get our troops that had been killed in battle that had taken place for like 2 weeks before we got there. And they had set up traps for us. And we went in there and it was hell to pay. But by the grace of God Almighty, I, along with some more people, I was wounded. I was wounded the night around midnight of the 4th of July. And I don't remember nothing else except my team, my 4-member team that was with me to set up what they call an outpost, which is called a canister. We set up a canister about 1,000 yards down by the river. And when the NVA started coming across, it was my job to get the message back to the troops, which is the company that I was attached to. Mm-hmm. And on the way back, they hit me. Something hit me hard. And I fell into a crater with some things in it that shouldn't have been in there. And they took me back and drugged me that whole 1,000 yards back to the lines. And all I know is I was hurting. I can't remember nothing but pain. Then somebody hit me with a morphine. And it was like 2 weeks later that I woke up.
Wow.
It was a rough time, but that was September. October, that was July. I'm sorry. That was July. August, the end of August, I went back in the field again. And my helicopter got shot down coming into what they call an LZ. Wow. And they tagged me again and sent me back. And I think September 15th, they came and got me at the hospital and they said, "You're going home." And they discharged me. And I came to El Toro, from Okinawa to El Toro. And from El Toro, they discharged me a day later. And that's for September 19th. October, I was lead singer for the Spinners.
What?
That's how it happened, brother.
GC, hold on, man. Hold on, GC. You went from Vietnam, firefights, retrieving our young man. And first of all, thank you for your service, brother, for all of that.
And was so happy that you made it home.
You went through all of that. And in 1 month back from Vietnam, you wind up lead singer of the Spinners.
I came home September 19th, 1967. Dennis Edwards, my friend, a buddy of ours, me and my family, my brothers in.
From the Temptations, if people don't know. Yes.
Yeah. Dennis Edwards called me, called my brother Dave and said, "Man, GC home from the war?" And my brother Dave said, "Yeah." This was 1 month after coming from Vietnam, after coming home from the war. Wow. From El Toro. And he said, "The Spinners, there's a group at Motown called the Spinners. They're looking for a lead singer. Tell them to get over there right away. They need a lead singer right now." And my brother Earl, my brother James, who lives on Kipling, right up the street from the boulevard, drove me down to Hitsville. And I went to artist development, and Bobby, Billy, Henry, and Purvis was in artist development waiting on me some way or the other. I was waiting on somebody, but I was the only one there. So it was me they were waiting on. And so when I got in there and I introduced myself, and boom, we were talking, and I introduced myself, and they were looking me over. Now I'm 10 years younger than these guys.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
because I'm just 20. I'm just now 21. Right, I just turned 21 a month ago, coming home from Vietnam. And so these cats are pros as far as I'm concerned. But 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, Marvin Gaye and Harvey Fuqua comes into the building. And they looked at me, and I looked at them because I wasn't familiar with none of this. I just came from another place, another world, really.
Yeah.
I was still dealing with a lot of stuff that I had to kill so that something else could live.
Yeah.
So I had to do the psychological thing to figure out what was going on with me and why I was there at Motown when I just came from the United States Marine Corps after 4 years and 3 months of service. I'm talking about honorable, powerful service.
Pretty
and
hell.
Now I got to, So I just put an M60 machine gun down a month ago, man.
And picked up a microphone.
And I picked up a microphone. And 1 month later, after I got home, October with the Spinners, November, we opened up for Marvin Gaye at the Apollo Theater. So that's 1 month, 2 months from coming from Vietnam, we opened up for Marvin, the Spinners at the Apollo Theater. That's the truth, man.
So wait a minute.
That's amazing.
Now, this is amazing, but
what the thing, what I want people to know about it is, this is the power of the Most High God.
Oh yeah,
it has
man.
nothing to do with me. This is what love has.
Yes.
When people like your mom and your daddy and your sisters and your woman, your wife, your children pray for you.
Yes.
If you're in a situation, they activate the God in you, because, Christ said, if I be in the Father and the Father be in me and you be in me, then you're in the Father too. He's speaking of the DNA. The breath of life is your key. All you need to do, if you get a new cell phone, before you use it, what you got to do?
You got to set it up.
Activate.
You got to activate and download.
If you get a credit card, before you can use it, you got to do what?
You got to activate it.
Well, the prayers are the same way, man. The word of God, it needs to be activated. Our people have been misled down a road that misled them from activating that which is already in them. God didn't leave you defenseless.
Yes, sir.
They go to these places, but they don't understand, because the people teaching them are lost. It says if the blind leads the blind, then all of them gonna fall in a hole and drown and die.
You're right about that, brother.
Now, anybody said it's different, but I want to say some things that people need to hear that has been told to me by the Spirit. And these are simple things, because if you love the Lord with your heart and soul, then the Spirit activates that. The more you love, the more love reveals to you of what's next for you.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
And it fills you with the knowledge. When the Spirit of the Most High is in you, then you're activated for good things. And that's what brought me from Vietnam into the Spinners on that 2-month period of time, to put me in that position to go into the Apollo Theater 2 months after Vietnam and open up for Marvin at the Apollo Theater, man. As one of the lead singers with that group. Come on, man.
Now, let me ask you, before you went to Vietnam, before this happened, were you singing? Because you had to be like 17 years old or something, man, when you got ready to go. My brother went to Vietnam when he was like 17, right before he graduated from high school. So I know you had to be like 17. So before that, were you singing in groups? Were you singing in high school? Were you singing in church? How did you know Dennis Edwards and all this kind of stuff? And how did Dennis Edwards not get his tail over that? So, but that's another story.
Yeah, man. What happened was, I went in the Marines in 1963, and my first stop was Iwakuni, Japan. That was my first duty station, Iwakuni, Japan, the best, 1st Marine Air Wing. That's where I met General Frank Peterson, the first black jet fighter pilot in the history of the Marine Corps. We served together in Iwakuni, 1963, 64. So I did that year and a half over there as a military policeman, man. I was a bad brother, man. I had a truck, a gun, and a stick. And it was nothing. Let me tell you something. Listen, man, I was 17 years old and more dangerous than a nuclear weapon in Yongchon in North Korea.
And he said a truck, a gun, and a stick.
And wait a minute, they put a cage on the truck so I could put drunks in it after I beat them up and take them to the station. Man, I became king, and all of the Japanese lady would clean the barracks and clean the house for me and everything. And I mean, it was paradise, man. I was there for a year and a half. Then I left and came to North Carolina. And left there and went to the Mediterranean, and we went through the Med. We took on the Atlantic and went through the Med through Gibraltar, Palma, Malta, all through the Straits, Italy, Spain, down through Gibraltar. I mean, Sicily, out of there around to Greece, and then back to North Carolina, and from that back to Pendleton, and then from back to Pendleton to Okinawa again, from Okinawa to Vietnam.
Now, were you singing all this time?
I was. Every chance that I found a microphone, I was singing. I won about 5 talent shows in the midst of all the fighting and everything else.
Oh, wow.
It was always some songs that kept everything in perspective. It was always, the Lord gave me music to calm the beast in me.
So who did you listen to during these times, man? What music were you listening to? Because Motown was relatively new when you showed up. So
listen, I didn't have any idea. I was doing little stuff, but I'm going to give you 2 short stories real quick. The first one was when I was a boy growing up in Mississippi, because, you know, I milked cows and picked cotton and went to the well and down the hill to the spring with the big leg girl. I can call her name. I don't think her name was Bunch. And I think we call her Bunch because she was a bunch of girls. And I was a young boy now. When she was a bunch, and when she was the prettiest bunch of something you ever seen if you were 12 years old. And I went through all of that, picking the cotton, so I had to milk the cows in the morning before we went to school, churn the milk at home, me and my brothers and sisters, haul paper wood. We did all of that, man. I mean, I went through that.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, we do not condone the word bunch, but this is CC Cameron's version of the story.
Okay. Well, growing up, there was a station called WLAC, Nashville, Tennessee. It had 2 jocks. One was named John R., one named Horseman Allen. They were 2 Caucasian boys, but we thought they were black because they only played more black music. And they sold baby chickens. They had a woman named Mama Good, whatever her name was. But if you had a problem at home, she could fix it for you. She sold you pills and thrills and showed you how to climb hills. They did this on the radio station. This
wow.
They showed you everything. If you had a problem, you could order it at WLAC, Nashville, Tennessee. In a day and a half, you were well. And this is how strong. So I listened as a boy from 6 years old on to Hank Williams Sr., Eaton Hart, Sam Cooke. But my first superstar was Jackie Wilson.
Yeah,
that's when I really got interested in music. And then Curtis Mayfield. Those 4 cats shaped my whole career.
Oh, wow.
Those 4 dudes, Jackie, Sam,
Hank Williams.
Hank Williams Sr. and Curtis Mayfield. Those were the guys I studied. And I learned from them, man. And now, listen at this. The 4th of July, on the way to Cantien to pick up the bodies, we all had little transistor radios that we had in Vietnam. Like I had Zenith.
Yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah, I had it in my flight jacket. And we came into a clearing and a machine gun happened to open up, but my radio was on. And guess what was playing? Just Ask the Lonely, the 4 Tops. And listen to this, man. Everything went silent. It was like one of the worst firefights on the way to the LZ that you could be in. That record came on. I crawled across this dirt road, a little path, and it was the housing, what they call hooches, on the other side. I crawled underneath one and up through the trap door and crawled in a corner. And I stayed there till that record went off, man. And that song played the first time I ever heard of really the Four Tops. I really had never heard of them before. And that song was playing. That's the last song I heard before I left Vietnam, was Just As So Lonely.
Wow.
And 3 months later, I was in the company with these same people, man.
Wow.
That's the truth. Lord knows it's the truth, man. It's been, only God can have done these things that has been done for me. My Father, who created me and made me for His purpose, only He could have done these things for me, buddy. Because these things don't happen regularly. I tell you, I know a lot of people. But,
man.
Hey,
Because I know you and I, we've had some stories and some talks on the road, man. And I know some of the stories of your life, man. And you've told me, and I'm just amazed, man. That's why I go, and I got to talk to GC on this show, because people would not believe this guy's story. It's amazing, you know.
Well, when I went back to the Temps after you would leave, and you had to teach me all that stuff in a day and a half. And I said, look, and I laughed. I said, are they really serious? Because my brain is like 30 years older than it was the last time. They can't be serious about me doing this, can they? And then it hit me like, yes. I said, oh, Lord, wait a minute. They had to teach me all this stuff again. But it was fun, man, because it was a challenge. And, and the Marine in me woke up.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, whatever it calls for by the grace of God, I get it done. It doesn't matter. But it's all about the music with us.
Man. Hey, when you were in the Spinners, there's a story. I mean, because GC sang, the song "It's a Shame." Now that's a lot of song. It's got the low part and it has the falsetto part. Now there's a story, man. You need to clarify this story and tell us the truth, man, because we want to know. It's a story that you sang this song in one take.
Yeah, it was a one take song. It was,
This is how serious. This is, you pulled out the Barry White voice on you. Yes, I did, Larry.
So that whole "It's a shame," and then why do you to me?
Yeah,
all that was done.
I think what it was, because Stevie and I we were inseparable, man, in the good days in the 60s. When I got there, I mean, we became the best of friends. So I took him everywhere. I drove him everywhere we went, basically. And he was always writing. I mean, he was always there doing his magical genius thing that he does. I mean, he's just the greatest of the greatest. I never, I love Smoke. Smoke is the greatest love lyricist, songwriter in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Stevie and Norman Whitfield, they had a whole different, Ivy Johanna, they had a whole different kind of a technique about themselves. And Stevie was one of those cats who were universal. Right. I mean, he like going to another planet, another level. And I think he noticed that I had a style that was different than anyone else, that had a group of voices. I think early I realized that I had a lot of sounds in me from different spirits.
Yeah.
After Vietnam, I began to realize that this is not what they told me as a boy, that life is bigger than the words that someone told me. There's more. And then I remember what Christ said to his disciples walking down the road when he ran to the crazy man. He said, "What's your name?" And he says, "Oh, they call me Legions." He said, "Well, why do they call you that?" He said, "Because there's a lot of us living in here." And I thought about that. And I said, wow, these songs, I got all these voices. And Stevie heard that.
Yeah.
And so we went to a club one night. I think we went to see Irma Franklin, Aretha's baby sister. And we went in, and on the way home, we left about 11. And I was driving him home to his mom's house, because he lived in the basement. Beautiful, big old place, gorgeous place. And we went into it. He said, I got a tune for you. And he kept saying it on the way home. I said, okay. He said, come on in. We went in the basement, and he had a Wurtlister sitting up against the wall.
Yeah.
And he jumped on the Wurtlister, and
Right.
I said, okay. He said, you like it? I said, man, I like it. Man, the next day, after I dropped him off and I went home, they called me from Hitsville. They said, JC, Stevie wants you in the Spinners in the studio tomorrow afternoon to do a song. He said, you know about a song? I said, what? He said, yeah, he just finished it. The Funk Brothers just got through with the track. And Paula Reiser arranged it. She said, it's a monster. And I was like, whoa.
In one day.
Yeah. So the following day, we all got together at Hitsville like we usually did.
Phil, they wasn't playing, man. Phil, they wasn't playing.
You heard me, right? In one day.
One day.
Yeah. And I'm talking Jameson, Yule, Eddie Bongo.
Yeah.
Like the whole crew. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
the
talking
Funk Brothers, man. Yeah.
And so, in fact, I spoke to Paul Reiser yesterday, the arranger, young Paul. I mean, the master and the whole movement. And anyway, we get to the studio, and Stevie and the engineer is up in the little booth for those who what they call a snake pit.
Right.
Yeah, we get down there and we do the background first.
Yeah. Hold on, GC. Hold on. For people who don't know, see, Hitsville had the lower level where the Funk Brother rhythm section played, and then you go up like a couple of stairs, and to the right there was a little booth where the engineers were recording everything from the bottom, and then upstairs there was this carve out, right?
That's right.
And you sang under there, and that's how they got the reverb and all that kind of stuff on those records.
That's right.
Right. So go ahead, GC. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And especially now, the studio is next to a funeral home. Don't forget the souls that.
That's right. That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
Roaches, rats, and many souls. Only a sound like that Motown can come out. So, man, anyway, man,
Phil. He said roaches, rats, and many souls.
And many souls. I'm following them. I'm just wondering if all of our Old Soul Club podcast listeners realize that he just threw out there just all willy-nilly and thought we were going to let it go by. He was driving around Stevie Wonder, y'all.
Yeah, but that's like an afterthought now of this story.
But listen. We finished the background. And I've never sung this song. I never sang it before, ever. I mean, I heard it first time 2 nights ago, around midnight. I'm halfway drunk now, man. We just dropped a couple of girls, and I just dropping him off. So I ain't think about no song, to be honest with you.
Stevie Wonder.
This story is starting to get better and better.
Better and better.
I'm listening to the track while we're doing the background, the 5 of us, the guy. And we finished, and so Stevie said, okay, you ready? And I'm like, okay. So they put the lyric in front of me. And by the grace of God, the Spirit took over. And when it hit, dun, 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 it was the easiest song I've ever sung. Why don't you use me? And so I said, okay, wait a minute. And after I finished it, I said, oh, wow, I need to do it again. That's when Stevie went crazy. I ain't going to tell you what he said. Down. He said, that's it. I said, no, I can do it. He said, listen, don't ask me to do it no more. Ain't nothing you can do no more to what I have. And really, for about 15 minutes, he said, look, man, would y'all take him home? Get him. And that was the last I heard that song for 6 months, 7 months. The song got lost. Someone took the song and put it somewhere. No one knew what it was. It disappeared.
Really?
Really. No one, we cut the song in 70. The song came out in 71. And so I met Gina Jackson, the late Gina Jackson, God rest her soul. I met her in the hallway at Motown. And she stopped me and she said, GC, did you all record a song called It's a Shame? And I said, yeah, a long time ago. She said, well, I just heard an acetate on it. She says, a hit record. I'm going to tell Barry right now that he needs to release it. If he don't, I'm going to take it to another company. That's how she got out. She went into him, and then the song appeared.
Wow.
So what that was about, I care not to even elaborate on it.
So that song was buried.
Yes. But if you think about it, It's a Shame was not a Motown song if you listen to it. ain't nothing in Motown ever come out of Motown to sound like it's a shame.
Right. It was not this Motown sound. You're right, because Smokey had that Motown sound with the temps and the four tops, and
Everybody,
that was a whole nother vibe.
That was a whole different thing. And even right now, my son just called me from Honolulu. He said, "Dad, I was just in the market. I heard it's a shame." I mean, this is
man. Yeah.
Somebody tell me about they just heard it's a shame. So glory to God. It's a great song. I mean,
it's a staple, man. It is a hit tune, and nobody can do it like you.
Oh man, there's a lot of people do it. It's just
no, they do it, but it ain't GC Cameron. Say that right now. It ain't, because I've tried and I left it alone. Because I think I can cover anything. That song, I said, no, I'm gonna leave this song alone.
I appreciate it, my friend. Bless your heart. God bless you.
Hey man, it's a beautiful song, man. Beautiful song. So GC, what are you doing now, man? I mean, you're back in Detroit. You know, you were living in Mississippi for a while, and now you're back in Detroit, man. And you know, you put out a new record, I believe, haven't you?
I've got an album scheduled to be released in the UK November 15th, I believe it is, next month.
Oh wow, great!
And it's unusual, but they're excited about it. It's a record company over there that found it. I wrote this stuff 44 years ago for Fantasy. Out of Fantasy when Sylvester was a star.
Yeah.
I went out to Fantasy with my friend Harvey Fuqua and Greg Crockett.
Yeah.
And I wrote this stuff, and this guy in London found a copy of one of his songs and went berserk and tracked it down, made a deal, went back and found a photographer that did my artwork for 1975, and he sent him the negatives to use the same pictures.
Wow.
So they put it together and they're excited. They're getting ready to release it. I'm scheduled for an interview with the A&R guy this coming week.
Yeah. And what's the name of the record, GC?
I don't even know the title of it yet. They never, it's been, I got people representing me for it. I never even spoke with them. I don't prefer not to talk to them.
Yeah.
But Greg Crockett and myself, we're the only two left from that team. So
wow.
Best that we not speak with them, but get representatives to do it for us. And they worked it out, and they're excited enough to promote it.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about it. I'm working on a new project, Larry, that it's called One World, One Beat.
Yeah.
One World is to bring everybody together under the banner of love.
Mm-hmm.
One World. The beat, we're trying to get a drum beat from every culture there is, because so many cultures have the same beat, but to insert it into one song.
Yes.
And use that one beat. But we also describe that as a heartbeat, because every time your beat, 8 billion other hearts beat in the same between your boom, 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 boom. So you got 8 billion heartbeats.
Right.
So you got one world, which is us, if we're in love with love itself, and one beat, which is the heartbeat. But the rhythm is to start writing songs that let people dance. Is what I'm about now, because I believe that dance is a praise expression. It's a spiritual expression. The first dance was a prayer. That is fertility, rain, growth. All of these are things, but our people don't know why they dance. They're grooving. So the dance will allow everyone in the world to dance off that one beat and give them that one groove. That's what my dreams and hopes are right now. That's what we're working on.
Oh man, that's beautiful. That is a beautiful thing, man.
Didn't you just recently do a video?
Well, we haven't compiled all the drums yet. We're still putting them together, because the song that I've written for it is called Beneath the Lover's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
And the song itself consists of so many drums, but I matched it with the dancers of different African cultures, and I realized that the Indians have a drum beat, which is a tom-tom. I realized that all of the cultures run off of a beat.
Yeah.
And so if they hear that beat, even if it's slightly a beat in that song, they can groove from that.
Yeah.
And if we get them to groove from that, we can pull them together under the banner of love itself. And if we can get everyone to submit to love, we'll get rid of the violence real for them. If we do that for a minute to music, man.
Right. Hey man, well, that's how we communicated back in the day a long time. Back in ancient times, man, that was the drums. And the drums would tell you what if danger was heading on, if there was okay to come in, if there was a message that you were trying to relay to somebody else. That was all done through drums. So that beat, man, so the beat has really, lived with us the whole time we've been on the planet.
That's right.
That's a great, that's a great thing you're doing. So
yeah, we're rhythm people. The world is a rhythm. It's a heartbeat. One beat, one world. Man. Yeah, one beat. We're dancing from the same beat, and we have the same heartbeat. And this world, we're together, man, on this. Yeah. Regardless of what people think, we're together in on this. And
we got to get those that don't dance on the beat to get on the beat. And you know what I'm talking about, but I ain't got to say it. What's already known don't need to be said.
Yeah, I think what we need to do, you along with myself and a few more people that we know, like Theo, whomever Bo, Joe, whoever the case might be, we need to do a concert concerning this, a festival, even if you will, that will allow us to express that which we have that won't be here long if they don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
That which we can pass on. It's more of a clinic, if you will, than a concert. It's a concert for them, but it's a clinic for us.
Yeah.
Because we got too much knowledge and wisdom to die with it, or to, shall I say, make a dimensional transition between you and I, to transit from this dimension to the next, to carry it with us, knowing that these kids now got their pants hanging down to their knees.
Right. Well, man, you've been in the music business for over 56 years, and you've seen, how it has transitioned from, live entertainment where we groomed groups, where groups came up and they were groomed before they were put out, where they was taught how to speak before they put out, how that they can carry themselves before they put out on the road. And you've seen that maturation from that to now. And if you could give an opinion on from then to now, how you see music, I mean, what would you say to a young person coming up in the music business now about what you've known over all those years being this entertainment? Because GC, truly, man, you're like one of the last surviving original soul singers that's left, bro, and you still sound like $1 million. Between you and Russell Thompson Jr., you sound like $1 million, man. So
thank you. You too, my brother. Make no mistake about it. I know you. And it's a marvelous thing. But in me, I search myself for answers. No one else has answers for me. The Lord has given me all the answers. So I have faith. And then education is the most important thing that young people can get in any arena that they choose to be in. Educate oneself to know one's worth and to focus on that. Let nothing, because see, you're a spiritual being having a physical experience in this dimension, and life is for living, not to be judged and judging people. It's for living, to get the best out of what you got. When you make a mistake, don't beat yourself to death for it. Get up and make a change in it. Make sure that doesn't happen again. You're on a journey. And so the test of who we are depends on how we act. And if you're good, can nothing come to you good but good when you're good. Ain't nothing good come from being bad. And ain't nothing bad gonna ever come from being good. So knowing yourself, but making sure that you're okay. Love is the most important thing. You ain't got time to hate. Hate will kill you quick. Hate will destroy you. And that's what the world is. The world is under there's a virus called hate. They don't give you a shot for that. They talk about the Canigaro virus. Get your shot for the Canigaro virus and this and that. But the hate virus is what we need the shot. And that's love is the only thing that can cure that. We can't cure a sickness in the middle of it. We know the beginning of it, then we'll inject it to cure it. If you don't know the beginning of a thing, you'll never solve the riddle of it. and we always trying to solve our problem from the beginning. Slavery, return to where you came from, is the beginning of how you got to where you are.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that,
ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking to the one and only, Mr. GC Cameron from the Spinners. And GC, man, we want to thank you for being on the show, man. This has actually been a lesson to all of us, man. And I know we could sit and talk to you forever, man, because there's all kinds of stories you got about the road and things like that. And before we let you go, because we have a section on here called Stories from the Road, GC, you're gonna have to give us a story from the road, man. Just a story we can put out there and let the people hear from the road. So if you have a story from your time in the Spinners, or your time in the Temptations, or your time, because people don't know you were in the Temptations for a while. You've done an album with the Temptations and things like that. So I would like you to just give us one good story from the road, man, that we can leave you on.
Okay, I'll give you one from the Temps. It was funny. We were at the what's that hotel there? Where all of the old cowboys used to stay. It was like a retreat. Anyway, we did the Debbie Reynolds dance studio thing, and then we were recording the Legacy CD. Yeah. That was the first. I did 2 CDs with the Temps, Legacy Collection. We were doing a Legacy CD. So Terry and myself had changed the lead. And, I mean, really, because we had just come off the run. It was rough. You know the routine. So
this is Terry Weeks, right?
Yeah, Terry Weeks, man, one of the greatest singers. You guys are just phenomenal. Thank God for you. And I know Otis thank the Lord for you. He should. So it's been. But anyway, I finished about 10:30. So I get back to the hotel, and it was the lodge. What is it called? The lodge. Some kind
of the Sportsman Lodge.
Sportsman's Lodge, man.
Sportsman Lodge, in LA. Yes.
We're staying at the Sportsman Lodge, and we're at the studio doing this, right? About 12 o'clock, man, my phone rang. Ring. It's okay, wow. Who is this? Yeah. Hey, G. So, okay, you need to go by the studio and make some changes on this song. What did I do? No, he said, this guy just put some rap on the song. I said, some rap. He said, wait a minute. I said, what do you mean some rap? He says, boy, then put the rap on one of the songs off of the CD. I said, okay. I get up and go back to the studio. I'm halfway asleep. And this cat is in there rapping like crazy. On the Temptation song.
On the Temptation song. He's rapping. Okay.
So the engineer had called, it doesn't know. So I said, look, man, I said, it sounds good, man. I said, but I don't think Mr. Williams really want this on this particular song. So this poor fella, he was so hurt. Then I had to come up with some lyrics to fill in what he had put the rap on. That was a story I will never forget. And it was funny because I told Terry about it. He cracked up. I mean, it was like, but that whole time that I spent with those guys, both times I've been with them, has been, they're just the greatest groups in the world, both of those groups, man. They're beautiful people. I love them. Great guys, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Pope, you got any questions for GC before we get out of there, brother?
Yeah, I just had one question. And you also was back in and out of the Spinners a couple of times as well, right?
Yeah, did the Spinners twice, did the Temps twice.
So
7 ladies I've been blessed to record with. Did one complete album with Sarita, Stevie's wife. Sarita's first record called I Want to Be By Your Side. I was on that with her. A lot of songs we did together. Martha and myself. Van Johnson, God rest her soul. She was just an incredible singer. I mean, you got to hear that. Tata Vega and myself. I did record with a lot of ladies. So it's been a really blessed career, man. I mean, thus far, it's been tremendous. So I'm truly blessed and humble before the Lord and full of gratitude. A lot of great people I've been blessed to learn from and to learn many things from. So it was an era to grow in, Larry. You know that. I mean, don't get no better than being able to hang out with Otis. Really. I mean, that's a lot of knowledge about this business. And, A lot of love. A lot of love.
Well, I'd like to do one last thing, and that is to present you, Mr. G.C. Cameron, with the Old Soul Club podcast most fascinating guest to date. I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but I'm sure everybody else who's been on the Old Soul Club podcast will agree. You are hands down you are the GOAT. Hey, and I'd like to say thank you for your service. We're so grateful to the Lord that you made it back safely. Thank you for your bravery, and thank you for showing us the way on how to continue to do it. I'm only 37 years in, but I'm looking forward to another 20 or 30 if it looks like you.
Hey, GC, man, listen, man, we want to thank you, man. You're the only guest we've ever talked to that's had military service, spiritual service, musical service, and just your whole life, man, is just a journey, and it's a testament, and it's a university. So we want to thank you for all you've done, man. And if nobody else says this to you, you are one of my amazing, greatest singers of all time. And I appreciate everything you've done. Ladies and gentlemen, please, once again, thank Mr. G.C. Cameron from the Spinners on the Old Soul Club, my brother. And thank you so much for having to being here, brother. Thank you.
God bless you, and thank you all too. Yeah.
All right, man.
All of you. Okay.
We'll see you soon, brother.
Take care and stay safe. Peace.
All right. Peace. Woo! Pope.
No,
Pope.
I'm sorry. We didn't bring it up while we were when we had him in here. No, I shall be called by my nickname, the Pontiff. I'm still a Pope of Soul.
Yeah.
I want to be called every once in a while. I want to be called a Pontiff.
He called you the Pontiff. That's right, man. G.C. Cameron, man. Whoa.
Man, look. Let me just take a moment. What a life. What a life. And let me just take a moment and say, brother, you are doing it, man. When you first told me we were going to start having like guests and stuff, I was like, okay, yeah. I'll line up my friends and family, my nephews and nieces. No, you talking about real like guests, like
man,
Jimmy Fallon and oh.
Hey, wow, bro, it's the Old Soul Club podcast, bro. Listen, I mean that
you just keep doing what you do,
dude. That's a testament of what we do on this show. I mean, to have that guy on here, he's a veteran, from the Marines. He's been wounded in action. How you come home from Vietnam and the next month you in the Spinners?
No, wait. Got injured, got kicked out the hospital, sent back
to Vietnam to get knocked down again. Right.
Then you go home.
They say, okay, that's enough.
And then you go home, and a week later, this.
And you're still only 21 years old. Really?
Oh.
Come on, man.
Oh, man.
That's amazing. Hey, man, I know that's amazing. But you know what else is amazing?
Larry Bragg's coffee.
Herschel Walker.
Oh. Besides Larry Bragg's coffee, that's smooth soulful roast. Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker. Did you see the debate, brother? Did you see the debate?
I did.
Oh, my God. Did you see Herschel try to sneak his badge up?
Showed the badge. Look, but this is what made me laugh about him showing the badge. You remember when Eddie Murphy took Nick Nolte's badge in 48 hours? And he flashed it real fast so you couldn't see that it wasn't him. Herschel did like this. Star, then put it down.
Then put it down.
Oh, then that moderator was pissed. She said, you know you're not supposed to bring any props. It goes, it's not a prop. But I read after that that the sheriff's department that gave Mr. Walker his honorary badge held absolutely no power.
Let me tell you something, man. That's just like the wings they get the kids on Southwest Airlines. When you get on the plane as a kid and they give you a pair of wings, that don't mean your ass can fly the plane. You take these damn damn wings, and you go sit your little ass down.
Yeah. Take this honorary badge and go sit your ass down.
Go sit down. Actually put it up. Oh. You're not supposed to carry it around. You know.
Not only was go ahead.
Of the police. Oh man.
Not only was the moderator pissed. Oh man. Why not just mop the floor with them, man?
But see, here's the problem I got with Senator Warnock and the Democrats. Listen, when you get somebody on the ropes and their legs are wobbling,
yeah,
man, put them down.
Yeah.
Put them down, man. Hit them with the knockout punch. Put them down. Don't be toying around with them. You know, you dancing and looking at them and you swinging your arms and stuff. Man, put them down. Don't play with these people. These people are crazy. That woman, you know, just like the woman in Arizona. You know, what's her name? Some Lake? Yeah. You know, why don't you want to debate this crazy woman and just debunk everything she says? This is the problem I got with the Democrats right now, bro. And I know we just had a great show with G.C. Cameron, but Phil, come on, man. Phil, come on.
Yeah, man. And you know, I knew I was going to have to be the bearer of bad news, and I hate. There's no good time to tell you this, bro, but in tying in with all of this, your brother Trevor Noah is leaving the Daily Show.
I know.
Oh,
I heard about that, man.
Okay, cool. But the good news is he's getting the show on MSNBC.
Yes, but you know, Trevor, man. I mean, he's had a great run on the Daily Show, man.
Yeah,
you know, I can't say nothing about that. I can't say nothing about Trevor. And man, he's had a hell of a run.
I love what he said to Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon said, "Why would you want to leave the show?" Trevor said, "Why not?" I mean, he's been going through the same things we've all been going through. So we can see him on TV. He was trapped in his house for 2 years. He had to come back to half a work staff, and
he got to deal with Roy Wood Jr.
See, we don't have to deal with Roy. We can always turn him off, but we got to deal with Roy Woods Jr.
You got to deal with Roy. And I hope he bring Roy to the new show.
Oh man,
I hope so. Man, Roy should be his co-host on the new show.
And
that would be amazing.
And Roy should do their miniature documentaries.
Yeah, it should be segments, man.
And Roy should do a whole mini documentary on CP Time. Wasn't that the name of his segment? CP Time?
Yeah, man.
I love when you say, "Welcome to CP Time."
Yeah, man.
For the culture.
For the culture, brother. But I wish Trevor well, man. He's gonna do well. He's gonna do well whatever he does, man. I'm sorry, but he's a great spokesman for everything. He's a great spokesman for for people of color. He's a great spokesman for just the world, and he's just he's a great orator. So I hope he does well.
But so looking forward to seeing him on the road. Doing his stand up. Now he said something very interesting about his stand up. He gets to go all around the world. He goes around the country.
Right. Right.
He will spend a week in
my son gave me this cup when he was like.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
He was like 6. My son made this. 6 years old. Yeah.
It's all even and stuff. Man.
Yeah, I've been drinking out of this cup since he was 6, bro. And now he's going to graduate. And this is still the cup I drink coffee out of every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you replace it for a Yeti cup?
See, man, why do you want to start some shit?
Anyway, as I was saying, Trevor spends a week in that city or in that country, absorbing their, surrounding the culture and a little bit of their language. Then on that night, on a Saturday night, he does the show, Friday, Saturday night. Right. Sort of like you did for me.
Right.
And I don't know if I ever got a chance to tell everybody on the podcast, but this man right here was the catalyst for my first ever overseas trip.
Hey, man, we talked about all that. Man, forget about all that. That's old news, man. Forget that. Hey, man, listen. Let's get back to Herschel.
I will let you drive the bus, man. I'm sitting right back here. Okay.
You interrupted my story with Trevor, but I know that was important.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
Listen, I have a little sympathy. Not for Herschel himself, but for what they're doing to Herschel.
Yeah.
Now Herschel is man enough to he should know this on his own. Remember when I told you about the minstrel shows and blackface?
Yep.
There was a character named Jim Crow.
Yeah.
That's Herschel. Skinning, grinning, smiling, dancing, teasing, and doing whatever Master says do. This is who Herschel Walker is. Now, people might not like it, but if you think about how they're using Herschel, and Herschel is being allowed himself to being used because Herschel has no business trying to go into the Senate. He knows nothing about policy. He knows nothing about politics. He knows nothing about government. He was a athlete, and that's not down degrading anything about athletes. But
right.
Herschel's lane was he was an athlete. Now,
yeah,
Herschel's lane is Herschel needs help because Herschel is a damaged man.
Right.
Physically and mentally, he is a damaged man. And this man of color needs help.
Right.
He doesn't need to be exploited.
Right.
He's being exploited. He has no way of stopping it himself. And nobody is going to stop this train. It is a runaway train. And mental illness is a real thing. These people do not care about Herschel Walker. They only want this seat. And that's where I stand. Now, I'm going to continue to talk about Herschel because his ass is staying up there. But these people don't care about Herschel.
Right.
They just want the seat.
Yeah,
now, ain't no way in the hell I'm going to vote. I would vote for Herschel if I was in Georgia. I wouldn't do it. I just won't do it because he's not capable and able and smart enough to handle that position. And we're putting another black man up against a black man who's totally qualified, and he's a minister, and he tried his best not to beat up on another man of color.
Yeah.
He tried his best not to do that.
Yeah.
But in trying not to do that, he made himself look a little weak at the same time.
Right.
Because sometimes you just got to put a guy on his ass. And I know Senator Warnock was trying, hey, this guy is not qualified to be here. I don't want to beat up on him too much because I'm going to look like a bully.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to put him on his ass. Right. And that's all I'm going to say about Herschel. Now, Herschel needs to sit his ass down, get out the race.
Well, I can see in your lambasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear what he said? Lambasting. And we talked about, you stuck that word and you found a way to get it in there.
No. It just came to my head because it applies.
Mm-hmm.
It applies. In your lambasting of Herschel Walker, I believe that the more the overall message is we as a people have to, I am my brother's keeper. And by you continually, shining a light on, this is bad, hopefully you can keep other young brothers from falling into that same trap, even older brothers, just us as a people. Because here's the thing, if you try to say to someone, you can't go into politics, you're not qualified. Well, unfortunately, there are too many examples. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronald Reagan, countless amount of senators who used to be actors, and ending with Donald Trump.
But there's a lot of stars and entertainers who've gone into the political arena, but they're versed in the conversation that they're talking about. They're versed in the subject matter.
Right. What I'm saying is, yes, there are a lot of examples of them, and they're good examples, but you have, what I'm saying is it's hard to argue with another person, who doesn't have experience saying, I think I'm going to go into politics. And you can't just definitively say, no, you shouldn't. You don't have an experience. Because like you said, there have been plenty of successful actors, senators, and governors and presidents that, made a mark on the country.
No, anybody can go into politics, but you should educate yourself.
Absolutely.
And what you're going into politics for. You should not be thrown into this arena just say, hey, you played football for me. I need you to run for senator because I need to get one to catch one. And that's like, what the hell, man? Really?
So
Phil, that's what happened. I mean, that's just
no, you're absolutely right, man. I'm saying, and that's the example that you're setting by keeping it on everyone's mind. Don't fall for the okie doke.
We need more people of color in positions of power so that we can level this playing field. But we need the right people of color, and I mean all color, in these positions so that we can level the playing field. We don't need knuckleheads up there or people who don't know what's going on just to be in a seat, because now you're a liability.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're a liability. You're going to hurt us more than you're going to help us. So this is what I'm saying. We need people, competent people in these positions, you know. So, and the power is not in federal government anyway. The power for the people is in local government, state government. This is where our power is. We need more people of color running for these local positions, state positions down on the lower levels so that we can stop this redlining and all this stuff that's going on in your communities and your neighborhoods. You know, if you want to change these things, don't look at the federal level. Look at the local level.
Right.
This is where this gets changed.
Right.
You have to run on a local level. You know, you got to be aldermen, councilmen, you know, city, you know, mayors. You got to be, you know, state senators. You got to be, you know, state representatives. This is where you get the change.
City council.
On the local level. City council. Yeah. Education. You got to be on the board of education. I mean, you got to be on there, man. You got on these boards, man. School board.
Yeah.
You got to be in that. If we don't do that, and there's a lot of positions that's sitting there that's open that we don't even know about.
Right.
It's just there. And people just go like, ooh, I'm going to run for that. Nobody's running.
Yeah.
And then you got a person just jump in there, and they're in because nobody even tried.
Yeah.
Because they hide it. They hide it. They hide it, man. They hide it so that we don't see it. We got to open our eyes and start reading these books.
Yeah.
Reading the mail. Reading what's happening in these local elections, bro. That's where it is.
Yeah.
You know, get involved, man. Look, get involved, bro. Get involved.
There's a website. I can't think of it offhand. Please forgive me, but I'm gonna put it right down here where you can see it. A website where you can go online and just see if you're registered to vote. And if you're not registered to vote, guess what? 3 easy steps or however many steps. In like 5 minutes, boom, you can register right here online, right there at their website.
Man, I heard something today that is a great way of getting people to register to vote. And it came from a guy who used to be a representative in the Republican Party, but he's so pissed off at the Republican Party that, you know, he's not even dealing with them anymore. He said that when they were registering people to vote, they made a deal with McDonald's. And, you know, the paper they put in the trays.
Yeah.
That paper that they put in the trays was a voter registration form.
No way.
Yes. And they had people fill those out to register to vote while they were sitting there eating the food at McDonald's. And he said, we didn't care if it had mustard, ketchup, you know, lettuce on it. We took it and we registered people to vote. I'm like, that was genius.
Genius.
Yes. You just collected them. You come back, you send a person back to McDonald's to collect these voter registration forms. And you turn them in.
And all they had to do was go to Kinko's and print them up.
It's funny as hell. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Hey, man. So, hey, man, what else is going on in music these days, man? Old Soul Club. What else is happening, brother?
You know, it is, man, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. That's whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. You know, I still think, you know, we got to get some of these entertainers, man, to get out there, man, and rock the boat, do some concerts.
Oh,
we got a few weeks left, bro. There's only a few weeks left, bro.
Yep.
What is it, 2 weeks? Something like that?
2 weeks, exactly.
2 or 3 weeks ready, man, before voting?
Yeah.
Early voting, I think, starts tomorrow. Or the 24th, I think, or early voting starts the 24th, I think.
That will be next Monday.
Yeah. We got crazy people running, man. There's some crazy people running for office, man. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot allow these crazy people to get in, man. Okay, here's what I know. This is music, but this is important, dude. The Republicans are saying that some schools now, high school, middle school, are putting litter boxes in the schools, saying that these kids are identifying themselves as cats. Yeah, you heard me. They're saying that the schools are putting in litter boxes for these kids who are identifying themselves as cats, which is complete BS. Or like Rachel Maddow say, horse bucket. Dude, this is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. There are no kids in any schools that's using litter boxes. Somehow, I'm a cat.
Okay, wait a minute. There's a lot to unpack there. But first of all,
there's a lot to unpack.
Look, man, I personally held my poop for about the first 6 years I was in school.
Okay, Phil,
because I refused to go to the bathroom in the little boys' bathroom.
Down the rabbit hole. You've gone too far.
What I'm trying to say is there are kids who are too ashamed and embarrassed and scared to use the bathroom in elementary and junior high school to go in a litter box. Are they crazy?
Boo, this is a complete lie. This is a complete lie. There are no kids using litter boxes identifying themselves as I'm a cat.
Then what is this craziness?
This is just what they do. This is stupid. Now, are there kids who they have this thing called furriers and they dress up with, like fur stuff on and stuff like that, but they're not using litter boxes, Phil. This is just the fad of kids wearing crazy shit, But they're not cats. They're not using there's no schools that have, litter boxes in certain areas of the schools for these kids to go use. No, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It's out of control. These people are completely crazy.
Well, they got classes like Yarn 101.
You stupid. First of all.
No, I'm gonna tell you what's stupid is is the lengths that people will go to push this world further and further. Wait, which way is my left? You're too.
Your right is your left. Further, right?
Yeah. They're pushing the world farther and farther to the left.
No.
No. That's not what I meant to say.
No, that's not right.
No. I'm just do this. They push the world farther and farther to that edge of just complete chaos and insanity.
Yeah, it's these conspiracy theorists and theories are off the chain, man. They're so far on the fringe. There's no more fringe left. People just falling off. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're not pushing them to the left. They push them to over the edge.
Yeah,
with these stupid conspiracy theories. Right?
That's what I was trying to say. But here's the thing, man. I'm so optimistic that I'm gonna be that dude that you hear about that was walking around New York, looking up at the skyscrapers. Oh, I'm in New York, and fall in a manhole cover.
Right. You like the movie Look Up? Oh, Don't Look Up. That crazy movie. Don't Look Up. That was the dumbest movie I've ever seen in my life. Don't Look Up. There. So don't go see that movie. Don't look up. Do not rent that. It was a crazy movie with a lot of stars in it, and it was just crazy. But it was truthful, but it was just crazy.
I can't remember the last time I was so dissatisfied. Not just, not every movie is everybody's cup of tea.
And this movie was a number one movie on Netflix for a long time.
And that is proof of the herd mentality.
I knew he was going to say that, of Nope.
No, I wasn't going to say Nope. A second ago, I was going to ask you if you've seen Nope yet. But what I'm saying is,
that is a herd mentality. That's what we're talking about.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And so now you have people who are utilizing that and capitalizing on that.
Yeah. Now, what about Elon Musk?
Okay.
Who has threatened to turn off the satellite during the war over there with Ukraine so that they won't have any internet. I don't know. He's saying, hey, they owe, I guess, I don't know if they owe them some money or what. They didn't make their last payment. I don't know.
I knew you were going to say that.
But he's threatening to turn off the satellite. This is some crazy shit. Why would you do that? These people in the middle of a war, you're going to turn off the satellite. I don't care what's going on. He said, hey, I can't afford to keep this on, without, I guess, compensation. I don't know what he's doing, but, he wants to turn the satellite on. Or did he already do it? I don't know. But this is what's going on. People, it's a man with too much money, too much power.
And he's on the bubble.
He's on the bubble.
I'm sorry, he's on the spectrum. I'm sorry.
He's crazy.
He's on the spectrum.
He's on the bubble for buying Twitter. That's what he's on the bubble for. Because he's still all that 400+ million.
Yeah.
for Twitter.
Well, they first mentioned that deal, what, a half a year ago, months ago?
Yeah, man. He been getting in and getting out of that deal for like a year.
Does Elon Musk on Twitter yet? Nah, they waiting on that check.
They waiting on that check. Need my check, baby.
You ain't getting nothing till we get that check.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad y'all hanging out with us here, man, on the Old Soul Club podcast. I know it's been a long day, but we had a great time with my man, GC Cameron, the spinners, the original spinner, GC Cameron. So listen, hey, Phil, man, it's been great, man. Did we miss anything today? Is there anything else need to be talked about?
No, I think we got everything.
Did we cover it all?
We covered almost all of it. It's just, I don't see why the Little Mermaid can't be black. I do not see what the problem is.
Hey, man, we already had to fight that fight. That's just like, now they're trying to make, what's my man, Idris Elba,
trying to make him James Bond.
James Bond. Some things don't need to be us.
And Michael B. Jordan is Superman.
I don't think, we need to that's a British thing, man. The James Bond, that's their thing. We don't need to be black James Bond, because that ain't gonna work. A black man running around shooting people and getting away with it. That ain't gonna work. No. So just let me
say, I go to the movies for escapism, but right. I wouldn't be able to suspend my disbelief on that one. Okay, right. So a black man just running down the street.
He's just running around the world shooting people, don't get no trouble, ain't got no paperwork. Just like Roy Woods, ain't got no paperwork or nothing. But this black man is doing this. This is not, he's gonna get one episode. That's gonna be it. He's gonna be in jail. James Bond gonna be in jail. That's how it's gonna be. And that's it. That's the end of that. It's gonna be end of the James Bond episode with Idris Elba. And that's how it's gonna be. So that's all I got to say. Hey, man, Larry, look here, man. The Old Soul Club brought to you by Larry Bragg's Coffee. That smooth soulful roast. And also Blue Boy Music. When you absolutely positively got to have your shit recorded the right way, Blue Boy Music. Hey, man, we got to get out of here, man. It's been a great day. It's been a great Tuesday. I hope, hey, man, look here, man. I've had a great time. I've been running around the country. I got a lot of stuff going on. We'll talk about this, man. But, next week, man, on the show, we got the legendary Tony Lindsay from Santana. We got a double guest next week. And also Mr. Fred Ross from Pee Wee and Fred Wesley's band. So, bro, we're going to have a great time next week. But until then, we got to go. We love you. Once again, thank you, GC, for your service. And to all our servicemen and women, we love you. We really thank you for everything you do for us to allow us to have these kind of privileges. Thank you. Hey, Jumbo, say good night, man.
Good night, man.
We'll talk with you, right? We'll talk with you later. Music, Train. Yeah!